All right, welcome back to the channel. Terence Bud Crawford is being warned, man, do not do it. The fix is in. Don't fight Canelo. The weight gain you're putting on is big problems. People getting scared the closer we get to this potential fight for Canelo Alvarez and Terence Crawford. Let's talk about what one of the better known physical trainers had to say about the fight and why this may be a setup against Terence Crawford. Let's talk about that in this video. All right, if you've not seen it, Terence Bud Crawford is walking around somewhere around 190 pounds, just south of 190 pounds. I think I saw him somewhere at around 183 or 188 pounds in the gym on a scale. As somebody who has seen Terence Crawford up close and personal, there is almost no way Terence Crawford should be walking around weighing 190 pounds. He's just not that big a guy. He's going into getting, really putting a lot of weight on his body for somebody that's that size. And it is worrying. Rob Acosta. If you're not familiar with Rob Acosta is a strength and conditioning coach, and he is located out of Philadelphia. Represents, works with some of the best fighters coming out of Philadelphia. And he's saying, look, man, what Terence Crawford's doing is a huge mistake because he is, in the words of Rob Acosta, he is eating himself up to 190 pounds. It's not something where he was gradually increasing his weight over time through physical exercise. And basically he says that you're eating your way to this weight class and up to that weight. And look, man, that can be a big problem for you. Also, there's other word that, look, man, if you look at what's going on with Turkey Al-Sheikh, bro, don't be very, very surprised if this thing turns out bad for Terence Crawford. Now, before I get into the details, though, let me welcome you back to the channel. If you're new to the channel, please accept my invitation to hit the subscribe button and hit the bell icon so you can be notified of when we release more videos. And if you're a longtime subscriber and supporter of the channel, thank you guys so much for your continued support, especially the people that support in the super thanks of videos like this. It's a great way to support the channel, but let's get into this. All right, man, Terence Crawford may be running at fool's gold. Now, it's a lot of fool's gold, but fool's gold nonetheless, as he is trying to go up from essentially 147 pounds up to 168 pounds. Now, why do I say essentially 147 up to 168? Because Terence Crawford has really only had one fight. He's only had one fight at 154 pounds. So he got a belt in one fight, and now, boom, he's gone. So I don't really count that as Terence Crawford as having time to really acclimatize himself, really even to 154. So he got acclimated to 147, and then 154. He looked good, but it was a good fight. It wasn't the best performance in the world out of him. But after that, boom, he just goes to 168. Now, why is he going to 168? It's got nothing to do with chasing greatness. It's got everything to do with chasing that money. Okay, if it does have something to do with chasing greatness, cool. But I think that is a side note to going out to seek that money. The problem is that at 168, according to Rob Acosta, and I think anybody else's common sense, that if you do not give yourself time to acclimate to a weight, even if you feel, and this is what Rob Acosta said, even if you're in the gym sparring bigger guys, you feel stronger, you feel like it's really working for you, but then you get in the ring for a 12-round fight and you see that there's a big difference between fighting a bigger guy in your gym than fighting somebody like Canelo Alvarez, who's acclimated to the weight, very used to fighting on that weight. And more importantly, Rob Acosta said he's very used to the last several days of coming down from a higher weight and cutting back down. So he says with Terence Crawford, to get up to like if you're weighing 185, Then over the next couple days, you got to drop 13 pounds to get to back down to 168. He said all of that is just probably going to be too much for Terence Crawford's body, man. And it's going to be very tough for him to fight the same way that he fights and do the same things that he usually does in the ring when he's toting all that around. For me, the most obvious issue with it is going to be the fact that he doesn't look that it is his footwork. Even when he was fighting against Madmarov, you could tell that he was heavier and he was more sedentary with his feet. Now, of course, he's sitting down on his punches like that. However, you could see that he was not as fleet of foot. He wasn't bouncing around. He didn't look as quick. Now, that was at 154. Now you're adding 14 more pounds in the ring to that. That's going to weigh you. That could very much weigh you down. Now, the other side of it is the simple fact that, look, man, Terence Crawford is going out there to fight in Saudi Arabia. I do believe that's going to be in Saudi Arabia. Saudi Arabia for the first time. Never fought overseas before. So not only that, he's fought overseas before, but never fought in Saudi Arabia before. You're also going to have to acclimatize with your weight to the fact that you're fighting in another country. Add to it that he's not worth as much money to Turki Al-Sheikh as, say, somebody like Canelo is. If Terence Crawford wins this fight, then that's about it. That's about it for him. What else is he going to do at 168? He's not going to fight David Benavidez. He's not going to be fighting, or David Benavidez already at 175. He's not going to be fighting the other guys at 168 pounds and running that off. It's just probably going to be it. And if he loses, which most likely he will, honestly, most likely he will, then he'll get a big payday, but the beating he could take and the inability to come back down in weight from there, I don't know, man. Is it really worth it? It is if he's getting the $100 million that he says that they say he's getting. I doubt very much he's getting that money. But hey, man, people have done dumber things for less money, so no problems with him going to do that. Anyway, I just wanted to let you know, though, that I do support Terence Crawford in the fight. I just see it just wrought with danger for him, though. Going all the way up to that big a weight and fighting a guy like Canelo Alvarez, who is just as good a fighter as Terence Crawford is, but naturally acclimated to the weight class. Fighting that big, fighting a guy fighting at a weight that big against a guy with a chin like Canelo, man, and it's just, we'll see, man. We'll see pretty soon in that fight what the deal is going to be, because, Jermell was already bigger than Terence Crawford, was fully acclimated to 154, was a knockout puncher at 154. But when he got in there with Canelo and he felt a couple of them shots come, hey, man, all of a sudden he knew a little bit better than to stay in there and kept on moving. And I think you're probably going to see the same thing with Terence Crawford. I doubt very much you see Terence Crawford and Canelo Alvarez exchanging. But if Terence Crawford cannot keep up that weight, hold that weight, start looking around 8, 9, 10, and 11 to see which way he starts going. And man, I wouldn't be surprised, man, if that thing ended with a towel stoppage. Anyway, that's my take on the matter. Please let me know what you think in the comment section. And with that, I'm out. Deuces.